All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, fresh back from Conway, South Carolina. He is the Hall of Famer, WNCT Sports Director Brian Bailey. What's up, BB?
Not a whole lot. A little quieter Monday than Sunday was.
Man, where to even begin? East Carolina knocks off Florida twice, but loses to Coastal Carolina twice. And what a run the Pirates go on at the end of the year, and they're able to beat the big bad SEC team twice, but came up a run short on a Sunday night. And we got a lot to discuss, Bailey, but how would you summarize what you just experienced?
It was really just amazing to watch the transformation of that baseball team because, as Cliff said a number of times, when they played Friday and Saturday in Tampa against USF, they were awful. And then, you talked to the team on that Sunday, and then all of a sudden they just turned it around. And in the American tournament, they were, pretty much dominant in the American tournament, breezed right through it. And then you get a chance to go to a regional. And I guess what was 67% of the people in one of those pools had picked Florida to win that bracket because Florida was one of the best 2 seeds in the country as far as that goes. And East Carolina was one of the lower 3s. East Carolina could have been a 4, and Florida could have, inched their way into as a 1. But as it was, Florida was a 2, East Carolina a 3, and they weren't, the 2 games with Florida weren't even close. I mean, East Carolina just dominated both those games.
And Florida became the story with their head coach, Kevin O'Sullivan, and you kind of got the ball rolling with that on Sunday morning with the pregame annex, and we now have video of him berating, I guess, the site rep and about the moving of times and things like that. Another part of it was him directing words to our players, and I heard Mike Mullis say on the air during the game yesterday that Kevin O'Sullivan exchanged words with Parker Bird, of all people, before the game. Did you witness that?
No, I did not witness that part of the, what was going on. I think I got to the party. I was at the park now like 4 hours early, but I got there a little late for that. And the funny thing is, too, I've seen one of the videos. If you look at it, you see me kind of waddle up. And I was like, because I was actually going over to see Cliff just to say good luck or say hey or something like that. Because I love going down there and watching BP or when guys are just hanging around and stuff. And so I was heading that way, and I heard O'Sullivan just ripping. He was ripping Mark Scalf, who was the former coach at UNC Wilmington,
right,
who I have told this story 100 times since yesterday. I put him on the same scale as Coach Gary Overton. Great coaches, super nice people that will do anything in the world for you. If you need something, they'll do it. So here, this great, nice guy is the NCAA rep, and I saw him on, I guess it was Thursday when I first got there. And I said, Coach, you're the rep this year here. And he goes, yeah, I hope we have a smooth regional. I'm thinking, yeah, that didn't play out too well, did it? But, just to see, what was happening, and I don't know. I stopped. I thought about videotaping it myself, but as a media member, I wasn't sure, what that would do for my media pass the rest of the weekend because I was standing right beside it. And then I thought, after I heard it, I just thought, something. After I talked to some of the East Carolina guys, and they said, yeah, he was yelling at us too, and we almost got into it. And I said, this story needs to get out there, and it's true. I mean, I heard, the one part with Kevin O'Sullivan just berating them over an hour. It was an hour. Now, I don't think they should have moved the game from noon to 1. I think they should have stuck with it. But it was, I guess, part of the story was Florida didn't find out until 1:30 a.m., early in the morning of the game. Right. But still. But he berated the grounds crew, apparently, because I think he wanted to take batting practice or something. And then he got on the one of the Coastal Carolina guys, one of their in the administration there. And then the guy was really nice. I talked to him, too, and I heard Kevin O'Sullivan when he was yelling. He said, look, man, this guy called me bro. You don't call me bro.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
He broed him?
I said, did you call him? He goes, yeah, I apologize. He did apologize, too. He said, Coach, I didn't mean to say that.
I called him bro.
Yeah.
Very just SEC of him, the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Like, we're Florida. And Mully said on the broadcast that, and I'll ask you, Bailey, did it appear that Florida kind of rolled in there? Like, we're going to take this, and this is us against
I think
the Sun
that's the reason he was so mad is because he knew playing that game he was going to have less time to get ready for Coastal.
Yeah.
And I think that was the whole reason he was so upset, and it didn't turn out that way for the Gators. But I was told that he was going to apologize to the team and to Coach Godwin, and then I was told that didn't happen. So that's why I asked the question in the press conference.
Oh, I heard it, Bailey, when you said you handled that.
I heard about your tweet.
I've heard that tone. Yeah. Oh, you handled that. That was classic Bailey right there, saying you didn't handle a damn thing.
Well, and then I was told by some of the NCAA folks that the only apology, and I haven't talked to Cliff, so I don't know if this actually happened, but this is what they said, is at home plate that he didn't even look Cliff in the eye, and he said sorry about this morning or something like, just mumbled it. And I'm not sure if that happened or not. I haven't asked Cliff yet, but that was the take there. That was the only apology that anybody knows about. But it was embarrassing, really. The guy was all over Coach Scalvin. It was just,
Yeah,
you can get your point across somehow.
I tweeted too, like, what would we do if he was doing that to Gary Overton? Like, we might.
Oh yeah,
it might have been a riot.
Yeah. But I think that's how they felt there too, because
sure, yeah.
and you saw what the Coastal coach said.
Man,
that was classic. Because one of the guys from Coastal told me, I was leaving last night. He said, "Thanks for getting that out there because it needed to get out there." And I said, well, I didn't think it was going to run like it has. He goes, "Oh, it's not stopping now. Our coach just ripped him. It's got more legs now." And what he said was true.
I'll ask Cliff next time we talk. Maybe not in these words, but I'm just wondering how he didn't kind of lose his mind when a coach is talking to his players.
Because that's one of the taboo things that you just don't do. Another coach doesn't talk to the other players, and no matter what's going on, that's just something that usually doesn't happen. But Coach Sully, as they say, he was walking by early, and I guess it was Thursday. And I walked by and said, "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" He didn't even look up. He just kept his head down, and that was before everything happened. So,
just a
but
mad
it was,
dude.
Yeah, he was.
Bailey should have done it like the Mike Ditka interview we like so much, where he says, "Coach, why are you in such a bad mood?" He said, "If you were 2-10, you'd be in a bad mood too." You should ask him, "Coach, why are you so angry, Coach?"
So I'm coming back last night, and I called Melissa, my lovely wife, and I said, "Hey, have you been on Twitter or anything?" And she said, "No." I said, "Well, the video is on there, and it's going crazy." I said, "Honey, if Clip Rock tweets, you get a notification."
She did like a few of mine.
Did he? Yeah, I bet she did. She didn't like any of mine. I swear. You weren't in Fayetteville this weekend, were you?
I was not.
Okay, good, because she was down there with some friends. I'm just kidding.
I'm not some friends.
I'm just kidding. Exactly.
I was watching through the television, Bailey, in Winterville, and man, it came through the TV that was the place to be. It looked like a rocking environment.
They've got a great facility there, and they have rabid fans. They came out in force. Pirate fans came out. Man. I thought Saturday night was a bigger crowd than Sunday night was, although they announced that Sunday broke the record from Saturday. But I really thought that there was, and it was man, for 6 innings into the 7th, it was awesome.
Same thing Sunday, just a different kind of game.
Yeah.
Saturday was just run here, run there. Sunday was out here, out there, and I could not believe Coastal had been blanked through 7 innings.
Yeah, it was really amazing to watch that neither team could get anything going, and the only run of the game scored on a sac fly.
Yeah.
And it's just it was a shame that the Pirates couldn't get anything going. Coastal's really good, though. I mean, I don't think anybody came away from there thinking that Coastal wasn't good, because they were very, very good, and they've got a chance. They got a chance in their super regional.
They will have Auburn, who took it to the Pac last night.
Yeah.
How about NC State? I actually watched some of State and the very end of East Carolina with Chandler and Zach Kaplan on Sunday. And State was down like 7 runs or something, 5 runs when I left there. Was shocked to see they beat was it Stetson, I believe, to get to Auburn, and then Auburn took it to them after that. Got Carolina playing today against Oklahoma, and some other 1 seeds kind of on the ropes today. And
some 1 seeds are already gone. That's amazing. Texas gone, Vanderbilt's gone. Yeah.
How about UTSA?
I'm
not a big conference pride guy, but I find myself rooting kind of hard for them against Texas.
That's good for the American. Also found out that the American Football Media Day is in Charlotte this year.
Okay.
How about that? That's something that a lot of them, I've been fortunate enough to go through the years, but a lot of our media hasn't been able to go to. But now I think most of the Eastern North Carolina folks can go.
Jared, get ready.
Get ready.
No more clam bake or whatever, Bailey.
We'll bake something.
It was in Texas the
last year was in
right?
Texas.
Did you go?
I did last year. I think the last couple of years, but last year I did get a chance to go, and that was fun. Got to walk right by that stadium that God built and see those Cowboys, and that was good.
They made a mistake with the sunlight coming in, but I guess he makes them. Everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
God's plan.
God's plan.
Brian Bailey joining us. The high school championships are over now.
Yeah, it didn't go very well for the eastern part of the state. You feel bad, especially for Rose. I mean, they were so good.
They lose 1-0 too.
Yeah. And they they won a game. The first game they probably shouldn't have. And then they get into the game 3, and they had a couple of chances, but lose at 1-0. And it's just one of those deals that we couldn't get any of our teams in the state championships to win. And then next year we go from 4 state championships to 8, which is going to be really different.
So
really different.
This year were all the championships at different spots? Is that how it worked?
They spread them out. We had games.
So we're going to have 8 spots next year?
I don't know what they're going to do. And I don't know. I've asked this question before because they go best 2 out of 3. I don't know if they have to go back to just doing single games just because you got so many.
Games.
I may be wrong, but I think that's got to be at least considered.
So do we have new conferences for like football coming up?
Yes, we have new conferences and everything. They're already out and everything. Gotcha. But yeah,
good deal. Well, do you take a breath now or what? What you
take a little breath? Probably this week. I got a couple of days off this week, and I'm going to start working on some Touchdown Friday stuff pretty soon. Try to get some of that going because it's hard to believe. We start August 17th or 18th, whatever it is around there. So we get that going pretty soon. Our coverage for East Carolina football, pretty soon, August 28th.
Yeah,
and football season is the best.
I know. Somebody asked me this weekend, so now what are you going to cover? And I kind of got sad for a moment, like, well, there ain't much going on. But then I thought, we're going to start previewing football.
Yeah, that's the best.
Which is fun.
So a lot of fun,
We'll be doing that. Well, Bailey, man, awesome job being the source.
It was really strange because, some stories, they're out there and you go looking for stuff. I mean, you just kind of walk up or you waddle up like I did, and you're standing there and like, whoa, look out. What the heck is all that about? And then you started talking, I don't think the story itself, when I heard him yelling, I thought, okay, it's this guy yelling. But then as I started, one of the other guys from East Carolina was telling me about how he was getting on them too, and I thought, this is just not right. I mean,
it's kind of good too that you put that out there, and then you've got like Florida SEC people like, this is nothing.
Right.
But then 2 videos come out, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I saw some of that. And and some people were backing me up, like he's only done it for 40-some years. Right. I don't think he made it up. Yeah. And a story like that, if they were just discussing it or something, and I put something out, but it wasn't a discussion. It was, and I really felt bad for Coach Scalf, and I talked to him afterwards, and he said, well, I'm tough, I can take it. And I said, yeah, but you shouldn't have to take that.
Yeah. It was magnified even more by the Coastal coach after the game.
And his stuff was great.
It was. Cliff didn't get too much into it, but acknowledged it.
I liked his line, though. Little old East Carolina beat mighty Florida twice. I thought that was pretty good.
And Kevin O'Sullivan's huffing and puffing somewhere.
Yeah, he is that.
All right, BB. Good stuff. Welcome back.
Appreciate
it. Nice Conway tan.
A little bit of a tan, yeah. They have a great facility, and I had a chance. I weaseled my way down behind home plate and had a chance to sit there for a couple of games, and then they had this whole thing to the right and to the left of the press box where they sell that to the Coastal folks, but whenever they weren't playing, there was nobody up there, and you just kind of like what they have in Clearwater at the Phillies complex there. Just really nice open air thing, and so I really enjoyed the entire Conway Regional, and I just wish Pirates could have pulled that one out.
Man.
I was really hoping to have that Monday night game would have been really big time.
No doubt.
National television, packed house. A ton of Pirate fans would have come down, I'm sure.
Yep.
So.
All right, BB. Thank you, man. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good. Take care.